guys, take two, because the first take I had my microphone muted and I went through the whole thing without realizing. I hate my life sometimes. Really, I really do. Alright, but let's jump into it. We have three big things we want to talk about tonight. Well, two big things and maybe a third that might be more about de-googling a phone. But let's jump into it. So, first thing, banned something channels suing YouTube over its anti-something moderation push. Do you think maybe, YouTube, that you might have overstepped the mark when I can't even report the news? Do you think? Maybe. But, you know. YouTube is facing a lawsuit from a group of channel owners who say their rights were violated by the platform's recent moderation against something accounts. The users, many of whom boast hundreds of thousands of followers on the platform, are seeking a temporary restraining order to restore their accounts. YouTube's massive deplatforming, which just occurred 3 weeks before the 2020 presidential election, boy, isn't that convenient, worked to serve a severe detriment of both conservative content creators and the American voters to seek out their content, the complaint alleges. YouTube took this draconian action so swiftly, the plaintiffs received no advance notice and were not able to download their content. They're not going to give you any notice. Notice, okay? They're not going to turn around and say, hey, we're going to ban your channel in a week. But, yeah. Section 230 of the 230 of the Communications Decency Act typically protects platforms from lawsuits over moderation action. The law is likely to be a pillar of YouTube's legal defense. Republicans have proposed adding a duty of faith care, which we'll talk about in a sec, to Section 230, which would make it easier for lawsuits of this nature to succeed. But none of those efforts have made it into law. As a result, the lawsuit's legal merits remain unclear. Although Trump is certainly talking about 230. At least one of the channels ran into trouble for conspiracy content before the October 15th policy shift. The SGT Report channel, ran by the legal plaintiff in the case, was suspended in 2018 after promoting unfounded allegations about Hillary Clinton and Hamad bin something. Although the channel was reinstated after subscribers complained, another of the accounts, RTU Reporting, has promoted a number of pizza toppings adjacent something on Twitter, including allegations that children in the Biden family are something. YouTube, that actually might not be a conspiracy theory. We've seen the photos, people. Are we still going to call that a conspiracy theory? But I'm just saying, you know, he has a very expensive habit when it comes to adult workers and certain substances, right? YouTube has long struggled with conspiracy content, but has only recently taken concrete steps to reduce its spread. In 2018, the platform began adding authoritative links to the videos about conspiracy-adjacent topics like the moon landing or the Oklahoma City bombings, in the hopes that factual information would steer users away from wider conspiracy theories. The following year, YouTube changed its algorithm to downrank content, and platform moderators took a hard line against videos, even banning a Shane Dawson video that explored popular theories. On October the 15th, 2020, YouTube took a campaign a step further and expanded its something and something policy to prohibit content that targets individuals or a group with a something theory that had been used to justify real-world something. The policies were particularly focused on the Q something theory, resulting in the immediate removal of tens of thousands of videos and hundreds of channels. In the lawsuit, however, plaintiffs framed the moderation move as targeting conservative YouTube channels more generally, playing into the long-standing Republican concerns about anti-conservative bias on the platforms. The complaint cites the plaintiffs' free speech rights under the First Amendment, arguing removal of the channels 3 weeks running up to the election will trigger irreparable harm to the public, which I would agree with. because plaintiffs' channel address issues of the public concern that are highly relevant to the November 3rd elections and its anticipated aftermath. The complaint reads, both plaintiffs and the public will suffer impaired harm and the absence of immediate and affirmative action. Google did not respond to comment, and they're obviously not going to. So this make it easier to sue tech companies for bias. On Wednesday, now this is obviously going back June 17th, so nothing's happened since then. On Wednesday, a group of senators introduced a new proposal to limit the immunity granted by the Section 230 of the Community Decency Act, setting a stage for a major fight over how companies, Facebook, YouTube, moderate their platform. Required companies to undertake a good duty of faith in order to reveal the prosecutions of Sections 230. But yeah, like I said, this was back in July and nothing happened. So yeah, well, that's not good. Obviously this is done by The Verge, so this is obviously going to be extremely left-leaning. I couldn't find anyone from Breitbart talking about it. We did find Forbes, who's also talking about it. More than a dozen pro-content creators on Monday filed a federal lawsuit in California against Google YouTube services less than a month after they were kicked off the video sharing site for promoting the certain theories. The authorities say it had led to something in the real world. Look, at the end of the day, the one mistake that conservatives make regarding this, right? They always say it's like, oh, we've been censored. And they are, don't get me wrong. Conservatives have definitely been censored online. But it's not just them. It's also the far left as well. You got people like Tulsi Gabbard, for example. She has been shadow banned on Facebook, on Twitter. She had her ads removed from Facebook and stuff like that. It's anybody that is anti-war. That's the secret. It's not necessarily a right versus left thing. It's a anti-establishment right versus an anti-establishment left versus the establishment. Those two sides are being censored like nothing before. Sorry. So that's the secret. It's not just a, hey, we're on the right, we're being censored. Yes, they are being censored, but it's also people on the left. Jimmy Dore, for example. Tulsi Gabbard, for example. Anybody that calls out the establishment on both sides of the politics will be obviously shadow banned, deplatformed, whatever it may be, which is why we cop it, because we're very much anti-establishment as well. So we've copped it longer than most people. But, you know, but hey, we've been ringing the alarm bell about this and no one really took much notice. So, yeah, hello. But guys, welcome to the club. But apart from that, guys, obviously at the end of the day, as for these guys, I hope their lawsuit is okay. I hope they do well. I don't have much faith in them doing well. I think Trump needs to do something when it comes to these people being banned off the platform. Yeah, YouTube has to be a place where all theories are allowed, or they don't have 230. If you want to be protected by the 230 Act, you need to have all content available on there. It is literally a case, it's a free speech for all or a free speech for none. And that's what I think Trump needs to do. And, you know, recently he has been talking about the 230 Act over at when he's been running and his rallies and stuff. But here's the thing, Trump. You've had 4 years, mate. You've known about this for 4 years. You haven't done a lot. All right? So at the end of the day, if you want to win this election and you want this election to be fair, and we're going to get into that soon with Project Veritas, if you want this election to be fair, people need to be able to see both sides of the argument. And you haven't done anything. You've dragged your feet. It could cost you the election because at the end of the day, you don't want to do something about it. Or you're holding off for some reason. And I think it's not necessarily Trump that's holding off. Maybe there's someone informing him to hold off. Maybe some bad state actor or bad actor is sitting there telling him, no, don't worry about the 230. Someone trying to divert his attention, maybe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the fact is that Trump had the power to do something with this regarding executive action. He could have done it several times. They introduced a bill into the Senate, we'll have to see what happened. I'll have to look into what happened with that. They own the Senate. What happened? Why did nothing get done about this? That's my problem with the Trump administration, is the fact that why did you not do something about this when you had the chance? Why are you sitting there twiddling your thumbs and then at the end of it, it's like, oh my God, we lost the election because it's a censorship. Yeah, well, you had 4 years, buddy. Didn't you? You had 4 years to do something about it and you didn't. Whose fault is that? But, you know, at the end of the day, hey, what do I know, right? I'm just a dumb YouTuber. But anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Next story we're going to be talking about is Project Veritas. It is a bombshell. It is damning. It is bad. And it's also linking to shadow banning as well, because I imagine this content has been buried more than Jeffrey Epstein right now. But guys, apart from that, let me know what your thoughts are in this comment section below. If that video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new, channel welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.